Is the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle any good? So I finally decided to do this video because Blake's Takes did a video a little while back on Kholek Suneater and recommended this Sorcerer for Kholek's host. Of course, Kugath can get them too if you have that DLC. So let's dive in. Not simply because the Sorcerer Lord is pretty good regardless, but he enables special builds. Recruited for 1000 base and 250 upkeep, the On-Foot Lord comes with 4188 health, 80 armor without a shield, 15% base missile resistance, 70 leadership, 33 speed, 40 charge speed, 43 melee attack, and yes, it has poison, attack interval of 4, a splash target size of medium, and a max entities damage of 5. That's kind of on the low end, so this is not a natural blob destroyer. Melee defense is 49, which is very sturdy for a caster lord. Weapon strength is 360, split between 240 base and 120 armor piercing, which frankly is not impressive. I've seen worse, but still. Charge bonus is 20, which is fairly weak. Mass is 1000, which isn't bad in that sense. The Sorcerer Lord does have Cloud of Flies, giving a +9 to melee defense after 15 seconds of melee contact. On a Chaos Steed, 300 upkeep, 4724 health, 100 armor, leadership 70, speed 78, charge speed 108, charge bonus 40, other stats unchanged. Naturally, things get radically different if you stick a lord on a War Shrine. Upkeep is 425, health is 12,706, armor is 60, missile resistance is still 15%, leadership is 70, speed 38, charge speed 50, melee attack drops to 30 base with poison. Splash target size shoots up to very large, but max entities damaged do not exceed 5. Melee defense is 35, and weapon strength is 375, split between 250 base and 125 AP. Charge bonus is a mere 25. This version is a siege attacker and causes fear, and you get the usual War Shrine benefits. Favor of the Ruinous Powers gives +10 leadership to your side, and Giver of Abundant Glory provides up to 0.1% heal per second to allies and is fueled by ally and enemy deaths. It does affect the shrine itself. Then again, the thing is a damn arrow magnet, so how much this really helps is up to you. For the blue line skills, Root Marcher is same old, same old. Despoilers adds a max of +30% raiding income and +10% sacking income. Serve or Die reduces recruitment by up to 15%. Corruption adds up to +4 Nurgle corruption over end turn. Ruination, okay, listen to this is kind of important. Ruination at max gives -8 control to the local enemy province and causes +15% bonus attrition by a defender under siege in the local region. It does not require that the Chaos Sorcerer Lord be the one besieging the enemy, merely by his presence. Nurgle has complicated ways of inflicting attrition, but this is brutally simple, and I think it helps with a garrison, not just an army inside a city under siege. Let me know what your observations are. Unholy Resilience gives +30% casualty replenishment for the Lord himself, and -1 to wound recovery time provided he isn't slain outright, which would be bad. Lightning Strike is the usual. Feated Gallopot reduces your attrition by 30% and adds +6 casualty replenishment to your side. Blessed by Evil grants +10% magic item steal chance, and income from post-battle loot is 15% higher, because who doesn't like more money? Or favor, actually. Premonition provides +20% intercept chance for sneaky gits trying to use underways and so on. Ambush defense chance is also +30% for when you deal with sneaky gits, etc. Finally, Renowned and Feared gives you -8% upkeep, 5% bonus campaign movement range, +10% hero defense chance, +25% of wounding aggressors, and +1 recruitment rank for Nurgle units specifically. Until at Capstone, we didn't see any upkeep reduction. That is notable. None of what you get is bad, but that's a large difference between this and some of the other stuff in Warhammer Total War. There is literally no need to cover the Nurgle caster line because it is 100% identical to other Lore of Nurgle lords, which is not a bad thing. I'm just being efficient. In the top line, Infernal Champion adds a simple +10% weapon strength, available from rank 15. Hearts of Iron grants 15% vigor loss reduction for the entire army, and Voice of the Dark Gods increases leadership aura by 40%. Well, consider it if you get a trait that has synergy with it. Aura of Chaos gives 10% extra missile resistance for 25% total. Could be worse. There is genuine reason to go over the red line because this is not the same as Kugath. Dominating Presence is the same old, same old. Moving on. Chaos Vanguard offers plus 12 armor and plus 8 melee attack at 3 pips for all non-demonic infantry. This instantly matters because a lot of your roster is high on defense with the mark of Nurgle and weaker in melee attack relatively speaking. Savage Bloodlust has plus 12 armor, never a bad thing, and plus 12 flat charge bonus to all demonic melee units, like Plague Bearers. And they don't have a very good charge bonus normally. Warpfire has plus 6% speed, max at 3 pips. Melee defense plus 8, and missile strength plus 12% for all demonic missile and flying units, which is very interesting, because you do not get missile strength with Kugath's bubonic buzzers. Hammer into Anvil grants melee defense plus 8, and charge bonus plus 12 flat for all non-demonic cavalry and chariots. Can you even begin to imagine this on Chaos Knights of Nurgle? And charge bonus 92 on the Lances version? Monstrous Strength adds plus 10% weapon strength and plus 8 melee attack to all non-demonic, war beast, monstrous, and monster units. I'm not sure what that applies to in Kugath's roster of mind, but this is probably a big deal for Undivided. Doomfire adds plus 20% ammunition and plus 12% missile strength for all non-demonic missile units, so basically Marauder Horsemen of Nurgle as far as Kugath is concerned. Again, a much bigger deal for Undivided, but it's interesting. What if you get allied units? I'm very curious. The middle skill is the old rally skill, plus 16 leadership in a 35-meter radius. It's a lot of leadership. And it's on top of the usual plus 8 if you're spec'd into this line, but only within the 35-meter radius, not the expanded radius if you have Voice of the Dark Gods. At least I think that's the case. Correct me if I'm wrong. Legion of Doom grants rank 7 and above infantry. All of them. Plus 10 armor, plus 5 melee defense, and 20% spell resistance because a pox on enemy spells. Speed and Malice grants rank 7 and above cavalry, chariots, and flying units. All of them. Plus 10% speed, melee attack plus 5, and missile resistance 15%. Because of pox on enemy missiles. Freakish Mutations grants rank 7 and above war beast monsters and monstrous units, all of them leadership plus 8, which is great because leadership is a weakness usually, melee attack plus 5, and ward save 5% because less incoming damage is less damage. Nothing bad here. Lots of monsters have less melee attack than you'd like to inflict their high weapon strength damage. Malevolent Ranger grants rank 7 and above missile units, please refer in-game for what this applies to, please. Plus 10 armor, plus 10% reload time reduction, and missile resistance 15%, because that's nice. Stand or Die lasts for 18 seconds, not the 14 of the earlier rally, and as tradition has it, plus 24 melee defense during that time, because more melee defense, more! 90-second cooldown rather than 60. Finally, let's cover the special stuff. Corrupt Mage, available at rank 10, provides plus 3 to your Winds of Magic reserve every turn, nice and consistent, and gives enemy spellcasters plus 15% miscast chance if they're anywhere within the same province. Can you imagine this with the old world mod? Huh. Malefic Sorcerer grants the Lord himself plus 5 melee attack and plus 7 melee defense. Not his focus, but if you have killer items, why not? Violent Chanter grants plus 5 melee attack to Forsaken, Chaos Spawn, and not something Kugath will see, Chaos Pharaoh Manticores, and provides perfect vigor for Forsaken units. This, by itself, and perhaps only by itself, you tell me, enables what I'll call the Forsaken build for the Nurgle forces. That name sounds really cursed, but still, perfect vigor on Furious Frenzied Fanatics. And even though they have only 80 entities and anything shredding armor whittles their numbers and they tend to be kind of beat up late into the fight, Perfect Vigor gives them a serious edge against a lot of stuff in a long, drag-out fight. It is interesting. Plague Marked, available at rank 16, offers Locus of Violence, and I've talked up how this is an incredible ability for the Nurgle faction, or Undivided too, plus 24 melee attack on a faction desperate for sources of melee attack, in a 35-meter radius for 21 seconds, plus 25% armor-piercing damage, and only armor-piercing damage in melee combat. 90-second cooldown, it is powerful. Finally, the King Brand provides a plus 5% casualty replenishment to the Lord's own army and blesses the Lord with Paragon of Decay, creating a 5% nerf to all enemy melee damage, both base and armor piercing, in a 35-meter radius around him. It doesn't sound like much, but its constant and less damage incoming means your healing is more effective if you're on a War Shrine, etc. The usual caveats exist about the War Shrine, mind you. They can be an easy way to lose a lord you've invested a lot of turns and battles into because escape is very difficult. But such are the wages of total war. I'm just saying, you really want immoral characters to be using them just in case. So how do you use the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle? Well, as I've gone through here, the magic is the same Lord of Nurgle we know and love with all its ups and downs. But good grief, that's a completely different set of unit buffs. My default setting is to get caster lords into their magic first, since Total War Warhammer 2. Because heroes can get killed and losing a rank 18 hero can be completely catastrophic. It'd be no fun if you leveled up each character the same regardless, and I do like variety one way or another. But I'll make a really aggressive statement. Using the Chaos blah blah Nurgle Lord is like using a Lord Magistrate with Cathay. His support for the army is a lot bigger than what he can personally do by smacking stuff around, and while this one can absolutely cast spells, the spells are not what sets him apart. It's his army. These buffs stack. Chaos Vanguard's plus 12 armor and plus 8 melee attack stacks with plus 5 melee attack and perfect vigor for Forsaken, and plus 12 armor and charge bonus in Chaos Spawn Up Nurgle stack with plus 5 melee attack. Now, just because it's these things that set him apart doesn't mean in the slightest that the spells aren't useful. It's to say that if you have heroes handling that, then it's fine. He's not the most robust lord in melee, but he's also far from incompetent. Even just the evasion skill mid-magic line gives him plus 5 melee defense on top of base. Cloud of Flies, Malefic Sorcerer, just that can give him 49 plus 5 plus 9 plus 7 equals 70 melee defense before items and magic mid-battle. This tankiness is a lot better than his ability to dish it out in melee against a general of the Empire. But isn't that what Rancid Visitations is for? Not that I allow him to use it in my video here. That would be just cruel, and I needed the video to last long enough. Equally, I wanted to do this video to show these buffs because they're not the same as other stuff. You have an absolutely good reason not to promote your lord and to keep the uniqueness to have a curveball, or perhaps a 6 slider, to throw off the enemy's home run hitter. But when all is said and done, not only does he buff units, not only does he nerf incoming damage around him, not only does he have magic, but Locus of Violence is just an amazing tool for taking a tanky roster and making it much more killy, albeit for 21 seconds. Just keep in mind the Lord himself is not an armor-piercing ace, so the best use of this is on your heaviest late roster hitters. Connecting more with damage dealers like Spawn and Forsaken absolutely wrecks regardless though. Take care, and have fun with mutant army compositions that aren't the meta. Variety is what makes a game like this fun, and I don't want you to deny yourselves fun because you feel certain things are locked in and cannot change. Sometimes it's true, so celebrate when it is not.